Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are having a fantastic day. So today's upload is going to be an update on the potential for a pretty large storm occurring, potential to occur on this upcoming week. So yet again, it's February, but late February, but the potential for storms is still there, and it will continue to be there for at least probably through the first half of March. Pretty consistently. Big snowstorms. After that, it should start dwindling, but it looks as if the first half of March will be the coldest, while the other half should be more average. Maybe not above average, but just closer to average. It seems like the first half will be below average for the most part. Well, depends where. Really, across the mid part of the country, will be below average, but across the East Coast, it could be above average, and across the West, it could be above average. So let's take a look at this. Let's take this one by one, starting at 006. Now, before we do that, if you'd like to subscribe to this channel, that would mean the world to me. It really means a lot, and it really helps out this channel. So if you're new, go check out my other videos. Go see what's just go see what's up. What do I do? What this channel is about, and see for yourself if it's worthy. If you are a returning viewer, consider liking the videos. That really helps out my channel. So looking at 006, we have actually a pretty warm air mass above there across the United States. It's pretty warm, despite it's me mentioning that the first half may be cooler than average. And notice that this isn't really long lived. As we look at the future, we notice that we have a storm system that comes off the California coast. It's already across Arizona, New Mexico, Utah, Wyoming, and that's gonna move off into the country across Monday into Oklahoma, Kansas. Now, the exact placement is still tough. It seems like it has trended a bit northward. It seems like there's been more of a northern trend, so the heaviest snow may fall just to the north of where it was last time. So notice that the storm initially drops quite a bit of rain across the United States, Illinois, Indiana, and then it drops some snow across Wisconsin, northern Illinois, extreme northern Illinois, Iowa, and then it wraps itself around all the way through Michigan and into the UP of Michigan, maybe into parts of Minnesota. Notice that a second one starts developing right here, and this one could also bring some very heavy rain to the northeast. Not necessarily heavy snow, it seems, but definitely if you live in Toronto, anywhere in southeastern Canada, you may have an increased chance for snow with this storm, as this storm will be still undetermined where exactly it will go, and you can see it has a lot of moisture with it. Now, sorry about that. Now, looking at this, you could see that after the storm passes through, there's a lot of cold air that comes in behind it. I mean, very, very cold air, especially for March or for late February, and you can see that lasts through early March, 27th, 28th, 29th, March 1st, it really starts moving away, and we start seeing a different pattern. But up until through then, we see some very chilly conditions. So let's look at the total snowfall accumulations. Again, the GFS has been the more conservative one, showing the more smaller amounts of snow. You can see it's showing pretty big amounts, however, across Wisconsin, extreme northern Illinois, Iowa, and into parts of southern Canada. Now, previously it was showing some greater amounts, or the other models are showing some greater amounts. However, the GFS is more on the conservative side. Let's look at the 2-meter temperature anomaly. You can see that the cold air is definitely there, and it's definitely present across the United States after the storm. And you can see that it really is just at it's really pretty extreme for early March, late February. However, before anything gets out of hand, we start getting into a new pattern. This cold air. By the time it's really early March, the first couple of days of March 1st, this cold air starts moving out, and I can't for some reason to get this to load. But it seems like March 1st through 7th will be on the warmer side. So maybe we could get lucky with some of the cold air maybe not making its way down. It's been a very tough one to diagnose, as at first many were thinking that would be an above average March, and then now the thinking is that it'll be cooler, But now we're looking at some recent model data, and it's just looking as if the first half has the greatest chance for cold, and the second half maybe a bit warmer. But again, I'm not promising anything, as it seems, the models are changing daily. So at this point, I would say that we're expecting for the rest of February, excluding maybe today and tomorrow for much of the country, which will be warmer. The rest of February will be chillier this last week. And then come early March, it could warm up again. And then after that, I can't say anything. I just don't know. It could go back to a very cold pattern. It could stay warm. You can see there's going to be some inflections of some pretty darn warm air across March, early March, March 3rd, March 2nd. So about a week from today, which is today's the 22nd. So a week and a day. On Sunday, March 1st, you can see there's some warmer air coming in, possibly another big storm with warm air. Cold air tries making a comeback. You can see right there from the north, but we see more warm air from the south. So where this all exactly pans out, how this all plays out, is tough to say. But definitely, the temperatures are getting warmer. Spring is on its way, if I were to say so. You can see that the 50s, 60s are getting further and further north, and March is, March will probably come in like more like a lamb, really, because March 1st may be a little bit warmer. Let's look at the Canadian model. Let's talk about that snowstorm where I got a little bit off task talking about the spring. Notice that the Canadian, however, in terms of temperatures, has a little bit cooler temperature, so that's interesting to note of. But really, the GFS has been one that's been cold all along. So now that it's transitioning to some cooler, warmer conditions, it's giving us a signal that it may be, the pattern may be shifting towards a warmer March. No. So if we were to look at the Canadian model, you could see that we are actually looking at more snow across the Illinois, Wisconsin area rather than southern Wisconsin. I mean, it's just a southern shift. Let's look at this snowstorm with the MSLP and precip, and I'm going to show you that it has more of a negative tilt. It takes on, you can see right there, it starts edging itself up to the north, and the snow band really starts getting some heavy snowfall rates. That's why it would be very heavy snow. This would be Wednesday, this upcoming week. You can see that this would move that into the northeast across Maine, into Vermont, New Hampshire. So that would definitely leave more snow across those locations. And notice that if you were to look at the snowfall amounts, they would be pretty darn heavy, like I showed you. And they're more further across the south. Again, the European shows kind of in between. Canadian furthest to the south, GFS furthest to the north. So which one it will be is tough to say at this point. At least they're all showing a storm, and that's good. That's not like the one we had across North Carolina, where some of them were showing a storm, some of them weren't. In this case, they're all showing a snowstorm, just a little bit, obviously, in different placements. The Canadian probably has the most widespread large amounts of snow. The European isn't far after. You can see the widespread snow across southeastern Canada, probably the brunt of the storm, into maybe even into northern New England. You can see 5 to 8 inches. So in terms of the NAM model, that the high resolution models, they haven't really came into their full extent. You can see that this only goes out through a Wednesday, but if we were to look at the NAM model, radar rain/frozen, you can see that it's taking more of what the Canadian did with more of a negative tilt, and this really would be a snowstorm. The NAM is showing that would be probably even bigger than what the Canadian is showing. So there is quite a bit of excitement with this, as this could be, one of the last storms of the season that's this far to the south. I mean, I'm sure that these locations will see more snow. Just at, 10, 11 inches may be a little bit, hard to get in early March and as we go into March. So this may be the last big snowstorm, and we'll have to see exactly where it plans out as we get into the future. But as of now, it looks very interesting. Oh, if we were to look at the European model, you could see that it shows a snowstorm as well, but holy cow, I mean, it's just kind of giving us a curveball as it's really just showing the storm in between what the Canadian and the GFS is showing. Canadian is more heavy snow across these locations. The European is more across the Iowa area and Wisconsin, which would be unfortunate for the Chicago area. Still about 4 inches for the northern suburbs, maybe getting up to 6, 7, and maybe towards southern Chicago 1 to 2. But you know, this is not all set in stone. This could definitely still change, and you can see that Iowa is more of the brunt, and Wisconsin is also pretty heavy hitter. Gets pretty heavy hit. Then across the northeast, some lighter amounts, but still locations in the higher elevations getting, you know, up to a foot of snow. And southeastern Canada also getting widespread 6 inches plus. So again, there's a lot of unconfidence with this, like with most storms, and across the National Weather Service offices, they're also, you know, discussing this actively and seeing which one, you know, which model is probably the most right. Just saying that GFS was the last time right with its model, with the storm across North Carolina. Doesn't mean it could be right with this storm, but you can see it has it way farther to the north than the European, and way further to the north than the Canadian. Well, it's not that far to north, but in terms of, you know, the places impacted, it is quite a difference. So that is that. I can show you the National Weather Service offices actually now that I think about it. So you can see this is for Chicago, the 5-day forecast. Now you can see that Sunday night, maybe a chance of rain, snow south late. And then we see Monday, rain likely mixing with snow, rain, snow Monday night. So you can see they have rain, snow because they don't know whether it's going to be more of a rainy scenario, more of a snowy scenario. Now if we look across southern Wisconsin, they also have the mention for snow, and it could be a snowier scenario, it could be a less snowier scenario. I'd be more confident in Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin, seeing snow in northern Illinois, but you could see, yeah, you can see they say mainly snow, but it may just be far to the south, too far to the south in order for the large accumulations to be occurring, or it may be perfectly over these locations to get the brunt of the storm. So we'll have to see how this all plays out. At this point, it's still quite a ways away, so we'll just have to see how this all plays out. Thank you so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel. Catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.